It's good. This is lavender, the ethical soda.
Ethical soda?
Even I hate myself right now.
Yeah. Welcome to the next episode of Over a Pint. This week we're here with Stephanie Arnold. Why don't you introduce yourself?
Sure. My name is Stephanie Arnold.
Perfect. Done.
I'm in Vancouver. I'm a marketing consultant and a real estate business coach.
And what are you drinking this week?
I am drinking kombucha because it's Vancouver.
And that's a thing here.
Yeah.
And
it's fermented ginger kombucha.
That doesn't sound good.
It's not terrible.
That's a
you can try it.
That's a glowing review. Welcome to my drink. It's not terrible. I'm drinking Whistler Brewing Lager. I've never had it, but we are in Whistler, so that's what we're doing.
Okay.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
It's fun. So how long have you been in the industry?
I've worked in real estate since 2010.
And you were an agent at first?
Uh-huh.
How long did you do that?
I had my license for 4 years. I was probably selling for 3 years.
No, what did you transition into?
I was doing administration for real estate. Yeah, at the same time as I was going through a divorce. So it was like half being miserable, half helping other realtors.
Yeah. So how did you transition into like becoming the marketing consultant?
I was doing a lot of marketing when I was working as a team manager for a real estate team in Vancouver. I was doing some marketing for them, and then an agent who had been on the team, who left the team to go start something else in a different market, had asked me to do some of her marketing. So I developed a marketing plan for her, and she loved that, and so I through that kind of had a few other options, did a few kind of freelance gigs, and then I took a full-time job as a marketing manager on a team. I built up some marketing systems and Facebook ads and new website and all that kind of stuff, and then over the past year, I would say, I've been doing a lot more consulting and one-on-one work.
Yeah. So a lot of that, because you do a lot with Richard Robbins.
Yeah.
So that's where. So did you get into it because you were doing the consulting already, or did you do that and that led into consulting?
So I was just talking to them the other day and telling them, I said, like, when I first started with, I'm knocking things over. So when I first started with Richard Robbins, like, I really just took whatever job I could get with them because I wanted to work for the company. I just believed in what they did. I loved what they offered. I loved the community that they'd built. So I kind of told them I wanted to be with them, and I took whatever they had. So they needed somebody to write for them, to write copy. And it was just kind of like a part-time gig. I'd write a couple blogs for them here and there. And I did that, and then slowly they started calling on me for other things. I would give them unsolicited social media advice. I would just say, like, why am I getting this ad? This isn't targeted properly. Here's how I would do it instead. Here's a mock-up that I've made for you, how you should be running your ads instead. So eventually they said, like, you know what, you're not a great writer, so
That's a good start.
so you should just do our ads and manage our social media. So now I run their social media, and then I also started as a coach for them at the beginning of this year. So I have 4 coaching clients now.
That's the exact way I've actually gotten a few clients. I've just like seen terrible ads on Facebook, screenshotted it, and I'm like, here's what you're doing, here's how you should do it.
I've done that too, and there's been no, like, I've never wanted anything in return. It was just bothering me so much. I'm like, okay, here's how to do it. If people will sometimes ask, and we've got like a Facebook group for the RRI community, people will often ask, Facebook's doing this, what do I do? And I'm just like, send it to me, I'll fix it.
I've done that a few times. Like, give me your ad account ID number. I request access to their ad account. I just go in and fix it for them. Like the big one lately, and I'm sure you've probably heard from others, like, apparently I'm discriminating people in my ad. You ever gotten that? I don't know what to do, and like, I'm not discriminating. Like, they're sending the ad cover. Like, no, just hit this one button.
Yeah, hit the button.
Done.
Oh, that blows people's minds when you can tell them to hit the button.
Yeah, and it's like that. It's that quick, and then they're like, but it's still not going. I'm like, now you just got to make a change to the ad, and like, I told that to a couple people. I'm like, you just got to make a change to the ad and submit it for review again, and they're all like, oh my god, so they're like rewriting the entire ad.
Yeah.
And then they're like, how would you do it? And I just go in, I just hit spacebar, submit it, done. Didn't have to change it.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny.
Yeah, these things all end up being so much easier once you start doing it.
Yeah. Well, the problem thing too is like, especially with this thing where everyone's like discriminating, is that they're just hitting boost post.
Yeah.
And they're not actually, they've never been in the back end. Which
so they don't know what it looks like or what to even find. So when I say go to where the ad is, they're like, what ad?
Like, go to the ad level.
What?
What's an ad set?
Yeah.
They have no clue about most of that. So you feel the pain sometimes.
Yeah. I'm just the thing people should probably do is all just go to Ads Manager. Like, just go there, play around in it.
Yeah, spend a bit of time and you'll learn. Because it's not that common. It's pretty intuitive walking through. Like, it's just watch it.
Yeah. But we're these young kids who understand the internet, Andrew.
Yeah, that's true.
It's different. It's different. You don't understand what it's like.
We were born with it.
We were born with iPads in our hands.
Yeah, except, they're only, 10 years old?
I remember when I was in high school, when I was in grade 12, I had a Palm Pilot. And I thought it was pretty cool. I saved up my money from my job at the movie theater to buy a Palm Pilot. And my friend, I was in like a social studies class. She had a law class at the same time as me in the classroom across from me. She also had a Palm Pilot. And at the time, if they were close enough together, you could like text. And so and the teacher didn't know that this was a thing, didn't realize that we were like on our Palm Pilot. She thought I was just being super organized. So we were texting each other on our Palm Pilots, and I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah. I don't think I got a cell phone until second year of university.
Yeah.
And that's like when you had to hit like three times to get an F in your text
T9.
message. Yeah, and you're just sitting there, you're going like, okay, it's like you get pretty good at those too.
Yeah, you do. And it's a skill that we don't even need anymore. It sucks.
Yeah, it was the most
I worked so hard at
useless,
that.
short-lived skill that's ever existed. But I was terrific at it.
Yeah. Like Guitar Hero. Also
That's
really
true.
good at that.
Yeah, I was surprisingly good for the fact that I have zero musical ability.
Yeah.
Like, I actually had people watch me, but like, you have no music ability, do you? I'm like, nope, but I can hit that button. It's perfect. So now you run ads for Keith Roy, right? Mm-hmm. So what strategies are you using to get him business on Facebook?
So Keith's biggest thing, we've run through like a few different ways to do it. At first, it was all just based on listings. I guess our big thing is like we call it the super secret listing. So we'll get listings. It started off basically when the market went crazy. The team found they weren't getting any sales or conversion from sign calls anymore because the listings were just not there long enough to convert on open houses or sign calls. So we thought, well, why don't we take the listing a few weeks early as an exclusive and then market the crap out of it? Because the market was so crazy that people just wanted to see something new that wasn't on the MLS. So that worked really well for us. We would just like put the listing details behind an opt-in page and someone on the team would call and follow up. And that was good. We did a few deals from that. Then when the market shifted a bit, people didn't care as much anymore. Like now things sit a bit longer. So that super secret listing process wasn't as great. And so we've changed it now and have funneled everything. So we give away all of the listing content for free. And then we retarget those people to like a middle of the funnel and bottom of the funnel thing. And so
what kind of offers are you doing from a retargeting level?
Not that's a great question, Andrew. Yeah, right now it's really like a two-step funnel. We're kind of missing a middle of the funnel. It's like a book a call. Yeah. And it's tough because I want to be able to provide something else, but then the team's busy and it's a spring market, so yeah we're in the process of creating a middle of the funnel. You're calling out my bad
just cut this out of the show.
Nothing.
There was a great three-step
It's a
funnel.
really great. You couldn't believe the offer's unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
It's just
offer.
secret. We're not allowed to tell you. No, people are gonna copy.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. I mean, but the biggest thing that they do is all the database stuff. I mean, when we started doing our Facebook ads and even just increasing our content marketing, that was the biggest change. Was we saw higher referrals from the database. So we create a lot of stuff like market updates. Keith's in the media quite a lot, so we're just promoting some of the stuff that he does and the podcast. Which we could talk about the podcast too.
Sure. Easy segue into it. We can talk about it. Let's just do some self-promotion. So what's the podcast for those who don't know it?
The podcast is the Vancouver on Real Estate Show.
Sounds similar to Scott Stratton's idea.
No, it's not. It's
Not
totally different. It's totally different. Mm-hmm. It's about the politics of real estate. So it takes a certain kind of nerdy crowd to listen to it. But we get about 1,000 downloads an episode. So there's enough weird, nerdy people out there to listen to it.
Well, you only need like 1,000 to get a good business out of a group.
Yeah.
You say you can, with 1,000 hardcore fans, you can become a millionaire in any business. That works. So, like, how often are you releasing an episode right now?
We were releasing it once a week, and now it's every 2 weeks. It was good to release it every week because it really built the momentum up, but it was also challenging to find that much content and to get everybody together to do it every week.
So is it like Keith and you? Are there guests on? Like,
it's sometimes Keith and me. It's sometimes we have another a friend of ours, Chris Thompson, who's a former tax lawyer, and politically he's kind of more left-leaning, whereas Keith's kind of right-leaning. So together, the two of them have good conversation and debate things interestingly. So we have him as kind of like a go-to guest, but then we do interviews for the most part. So it'll be like policymakers. We had the mayor of Coquitlam, the ex-mayor of Vancouver. We've David Eby, who's the governor general now. I'm gonna mess up whatever political thing he is.
We'll
but
just edit something in there. Like, this is what he actually is.
This is a highly edited video, right?
That's why it's not live. We just edit.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
So it's like policymakers, and it's not. For a real estate podcast, it's not particularly real estate-y. It's focused on like the housing file and housing affordability and policy changes, but it's not really like, here's how to pick a mortgage broker. Yeah.
And have you found like it's directly led to clients, or it's more like a branding awareness type of thing? Yeah,
it's more of a branding awareness thing. Keith's clients will listen to it and they're very engaged with it. Like they'll be asking questions all the time, like, oh, you guys were talking about buying a place in Hawaii. Have you found a place yet? And so it's a great way for people to stay in touch with you and to stay top of mind with them regularly. I think there's a quote Terry O'Reilly had said before about podcasting or audio as a medium, then the difference between audio versus video. So if video, there's like a screen beside you, like, we're not really in your house right now. I know it seems like it.
You're just shattering glass walls here.
I know. So there's a screen though between you, but with audio, you're really it's like they're there with you. It's a lot more personal. You tend to listen to audio alone, so it's like a really personal connection. So I think there's something unique about podcasting that you don't get from any other medium. People feel really connected.
So how do you go about promoting the podcast? Like, what are the different steps involved in getting it out there?
A big part of it is through the audiences of whoever it is that we have on the show. We tend to pick people who have an audience already that they can promote it to, so that's really helpful in bringing in new people. We do some targeting, some audience, like some Facebook ads for the podcast. We did a lot more when we started to build up the listenership. Now we have a good amount of subscribers that, to be honest, I've kind of like been lax about advertising it because we're just like,
it's easy.
Yeah, now people just download it. I don't even have to do anything. We have like a Facebook page, and that lets people know there's a new episode. But we're also really consistent. Like it's every other Sunday, all the time, no matter what. So people kind of know that it comes out then.
That's good.
But otherwise, it's targeting audiences, different audiences for every episode, depending on what we're talking about.
That's good.
Yeah.
And do you ever do anything like, transcribe it, turn it into like blog posts or anything like that, or it's just audio?
I've done a few that I've turned into blog posts because they've been particularly interesting. Like some of the ones we've done out of town, like we did a Unreal Estate of Iceland episode, and that I turned into a blog post, and we used that as like a newsletter and sent that out to some people. It is actually the plan to rebrand the show altogether. Right now it's Vancouver focused. It's the Vancouver and Real Estate Show. But it is a future plan. Releasing this is big news.
Breaking news graphic we're going to put in right here. It's going to flash.
We will be rebranding it to the Unreal Estate Show in general. And the reason for that is to dive into different real estate markets. And for it to be more of like a general real estate show. Real
estate nerds in general.
Yeah, and we realized that a big chunk of our audience is realtors outside of Vancouver. Okay. And so our most highly listened to episodes are the ones where we were traveling places. Like our Hawaii ones are our most popular episodes. So people like it when we're... Yeah, exactly.
It's perfect.
So we're going on this long trip this year, and so the plan was to record as we go.
Every city,
yeah.
Sit and talk to someone local.
And maybe have everyone be a few more episodes, because right now, like we did Iceland as 2 episodes, but for the most part, it's like, let's learn everything about Argentinian real estate in a half an hour, and there's just more that we can go into.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
And because I know a lot of people, I've been asked this question before, but where do you put the podcast? Are you guys doing SoundCloud? How does the work from like the mechanical side of the podcast stuff?
We use a company called Blueberry to host it, and then you can submit your RSS feed to various channels like iTunes or Google, Spotify, Stitcher, Intune. Basically anywhere you can find podcasts. They're building a house over there.
The mic probably didn't pick it up. It's directional.
Okay. It sounds like thunder, but it's sunny out.
Yeah.
Except for SoundCloud, because SoundCloud is just unique in that it's its own thing, kind of. But we're everywhere else that you can.
And do you find that one of those platforms drives more than the others?
It's tough to know. We don't see the breakdown in our analytics. It just tells us downloads. And I've heard that Apple is releasing their own analytics for podcast downloads, but I haven't seen it happen yet.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
So what other things are you doing from the content marketing perspective?
Not a lot, because I'm not writing anymore.
Well, when you're not a great writer.
I could tell what I wrote for like a couple months, and then Sue Robbins lovingly sent me a how to write copy book.
The best of intentions.
I was like, I feel like I should be insulted, but I'm also like really grateful.
Oops.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny. So then from the content marketing, is it mainly the podcast that you guys use?
The podcast is the big one.
Yeah.
We still send out like hard mail, real mail. Yeah. We call it the mullet because it's business in the front and party in the back.
So like a 2-pager?
Yeah. So the front page, it's often based on the podcast or something we've talked about in the podcast. Usually it's something about like, here's something about the new government changes in real estate, because that is very prominent. Yeah. And then the back is like often events that we're hosting and that kind of thing. Yeah, it's mainly those. And I like the idea of kind of having like consistent content that you can repurpose in different ways, but
yeah, we do that a lot. Like even like this show, like one of our goals is like, so say we do like an hour of talking, take like 2-3 minute clips, and now that's another piece of content. Like we keep trying to tell the clients that like you create one big piece and just leverage it into all these other little ones.
Yeah, like so create a show. I like to, which is why we called the podcast the show instead of the podcast. Yeah. Because now we're creating a brand around this being a show, and it started off as a show for Keith's real estate team, and now it's kind of turned into this show for promoting Keith as a speaker, promoting me as a marketing consultant, and it showcases that too. But now we can take it and go anywhere with it because it's like the show, not really the podcast, you know?
Yeah, you start putting different mediums and things like that.
Yeah.
That makes sense. And then, so separately from all this, so you're also working on a Facebook course.
I am.
So you can tell us about that?
Yeah.
We're working on a Facebook course.
Our rival courses. We should have like a competition.
What date are you launching? Do you have one yet?
June 1st.
Ooh, on May 15th.
Ooh, God damn it.
Yeah, we're going to have a 2-week head start. So we'll see by September who has more sales.
Okay. How much are you selling your course for?
I haven't finalized that yet.
Me neither, I don't know.
So I'll probably do like a special for like $697.
Yeah.
And then a regular price would be like $1,000. Yeah. Is my guess.
Yeah. It's tough to know.
Yeah.
It's so hard.
Because like when you look at like value provided, like if I just think of like how many hours it saves people.
Yeah.
Like you're putting like 300 hours and thousands of dollars in savings by just going into the course. But so like by that metric, you could charge $10,000 and you get a return.
Sure.
But no one's gonna pay $10,000 for the course.
But you gotta convince people you have to convince them of the value is the toughest thing. So I mean, obviously I've thought about marketing it, but I've focused all my attention right now on creating it because I know there's nothing to market unless I finish making it.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that's why I actually pre-sold mine. 'Cause I was like,
smart.
now I have to finish it.
Yeah.
So I have like 40 people who have already bought it.
Awesome.
And as I create each piece, I just upload it and I get feedback.
Okay.
So we're kind of editing it as we go.
Yeah, that's smart.
But the problem is because so much has happened since that process started, I actually have to go back and redo the first third of the videos because like they merged Ads Manager and Power Editor into one.
Yeah.
But now all the videos are out of date that were based on a screen share.
Yeah.
So I have to go and edit quite a bit now.
Totally.
But
I think that's just a thing that's going to happen. Like, I fully figured that, I mean, creating the course, I was like, in a year from now, this is even less. It could be a day from now, all of this is going to be irrelevant because you just never know what they're going to come up with.
Yeah, and they keep changing all the rules, and you never know what, like, all the current privacy stuff's going to change. Like, I know in the States, it's affected a little. Like, they're getting rid of all income targeting and things like that.
Yeah, we don't have that anyway.
Yeah.
I just have to target people based on them liking luxury watches. Like the good old days.
Yeah. I mostly just do like relationship status and age.
Yeah.
I don't do too much. Well, it depends where I am. Like in the city of Toronto, for example, like we'll go more in depth because it's too big of an audience that route. But like anywhere suburbs wise, it's mostly just relationship status.
So okay, I'll talk about my first in a second, but I'm curious about what you think about this because I feel like Vancouver is a really tough market for Facebook leads. Okay. Because there are so few people who can afford to buy a house here.
Yeah, that's pretty common.
So if you were advertising, say in Abbotsford, not even Abbotsford. Abbotsford is getting expensive too, but like farther out in, I don't know, what's a small town in Ontario?
Aurora.
Aurora. Okay. If you're advertising in Aurora, what percentage of adults could afford to buy a house?
Depends on the age you define as adult, but normally most people aren't buying or selling until they're over 30.
Okay.
But like even entry level.
But people can afford to buy.
Well, like entry level townhomes now, if the market's dipped a bit, are about 600,000.
Okay.
So like it's still you gotta have
expensive.
A decent career.
Yeah.
Or probably even double income to get it.
Yeah.
But we still get pretty consistent results with those.
Yeah.
But that's where we do a lot of targeting by relationship status because like we will never run an ad to someone who's single.
Yeah.
Ever.
Totally.
So like we'll do things like that, but because you can get reach so like you can narrow down enough and target properly. Mm-hmm. Even if you're reaching a big chunk of people who never buy, you can still get enough that can.
Yeah.
So
I just find like because we'll target based on education level as well. You know, like college or above. Age and relationship status and whether they're a parent or not. Those are like the things I would most commonly target by. But even the people who have like gone to grad school and are 40.
Those out a lot.
Do you?
Because what we found is like a lot of like say you go to like grad school and you're 35, you probably have a ton of debt.
That's
so it's
true.
gonna be harder to buy. So whereas like say you got right out of school, went to trade school. Mm-hmm. So you only have a high school in your trade school, but you're making $40 an hour.
Yeah.
You're going to be able to afford before that person did grad school.
Yeah.
Maybe you're going to be stuck at a lower bracket of home than those people long term, but we've never found in our testing, and it's been a while since we've put it back in, but when we used to do it, we never really found that moved the needle too much.
Interesting.
So that's where we end up mostly sticking to relationship status.
Yeah.
And then like the parents obviously is one that we do too, but for the most part.
So are you running ads in Vancouver for anybody?
Right now, not consistently. So we don't have any monthly retainer clients in Vancouver.
But when you were you finding that
because we have a one-off listing service.
Yeah.
Where it's like if you have like one listing, we'll just advertise it for you. That one, it still works.
Yeah.
Like there it's $1 to $5 a lead.
Yeah.
Almost anywhere. Like the only place we haven't been able to get that low is like San Francisco.
Yeah.
But I'm guessing it's because there's so much Facebook advertising in San Francisco
that
everything goes up in price there.
But
that's the only city that we can't get it down that low normally.
Interesting.
Like City of Toronto, like regular ads, they're going to be generally more expensive, but still even listing ads in the city is still $1 to $5. Okay. So that's pretty good.
And do you do you qualify the leads at all, or do you have?
Depends on the client.
Okay.
So like the kind of our because what we kind of tell the clients like you can kind of choose between quantity versus quality.
Sure.
So we can look at let's just withhold the price.
Yeah.
And
then you're going to get a lot more leads, but they might not be.
You can get like 70-cent leads that way. Or we can be like, we'll put everything about the home in the ad and then say, like, we do Facebook lead ads for listings.
Yeah.
But then we'll do like, maybe we'll even add the review button in, which makes even less people opt in. So we kind of like each client explain how it works and then we'll run a few different versions. Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
We found most start by saying we prefer the quality leads.
And then eventually they want more, so they'll like make it.
That's what we found is even the ones who start saying quality end up going to the quantity one.
Yeah.
So most of the time we end up going back to the just withhold price.
Yeah.
Because even though like it's an easy way to get leads, and a lot of them are just like after they find out the price leave.
Yeah.
You're still starting a lot more conversations. So that's ultimately what we find people go back to.
Yeah.
So we do the listing leads just to get them volume, and then we have these separate like buyer and seller campaigns, not off the listing, but to get them like a little higher quality ones. But because those you're more focusing on quality, the volume's less. So we kind of boost the volume with the listing ads.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's where it works well.
Yeah. So most of my work is in like I do like training and coaching and consulting. So I'm not running a ton of ads for people, but I do have some clients that I'll run ads for. And I kind of explain it similarly, but I almost do it in reverse, where I'm just like, let's start off and I'll give you all the leads, and then once you get overwhelmed by them, let's tune it down and give you like the better ones.
Well, I like people to make the decision themselves.
That makes sense. I like the way you frame that. Yeah.
I've done it a few times. You keep explaining, you get feedback from people, and you adjust it the next time you pitch. You've got it pretty good now.
Well, it's time consuming too. Yeah. Like all the work that goes into it, unless you have an ISA who's dedicated and can pick up the phone and call right away and stuff, to be able to convert the leads is challenging.
Like, and a lot of people, they're just like, especially internet wise, have never gotten any leads. Like you get some people coming like, I've spent $5,000 on Facebook ads and never had a single lead. Yeah. You give us $150 and we get you 30. Yeah. Everyone's like, wait. Yeah. What? And so then there's like, give me as many as you can get.
Yeah.
It's like, we have clients who are getting $300-400 a month and it's one person.
Yeah.
We know they're not calling every lead they're getting, but for them it's just like, it's something that keeps them busy almost. Like it's I got downtime for 20 minutes. I'll just pick up the phone and call. Sure. Like I have things. It's basically like we're giving them something to do in those hours of the day when they don't have anything. Yeah. Whereas like the ones, and those are the ones that their results are inconsistent. And the ones who have like a process, that's where you find like they're getting pretty consistent results.
So my course.
Yes, back to your course.
We're talking about that. My course it's in 3 parts. It's what you can do on Facebook for free, what you can do that's paid, and then how to put it all together. Yeah. So I was originally doing it, I was thinking about just free and paid, and then I realized there's this big chunk of like, okay, what do I actually do with all of this information, and how do I decide what tactic is right for my business? Yeah. So that's, I guess, the part of the course that I'm actually most excited about, really, because the tactics are fun and exciting, but they're things that you could like Google and figure out, or they're like, you know what I mean? You could Google how to run a Facebook ad, and it might not be for real estate. So that is what makes this unique, but the information's out there, whereas I feel like this, okay, here's how to combine all the crap you hear about and find a way to make it work for your business. That's really the kind of bread and butter of my course.
And that's like where I find the courses are valuable, is in that like the stuff you can't Google.
Yeah.
Like too many courses are literally just, here's where you click.
Yeah.
You know, like the course I'm building, like we have those in there, but those are just like, so they don't have to go Google something else.
Exactly.
There's no actual like, that's the value of the course.
Yeah.
It's the strategy side of it.
And the experience that you've been able to get, and to say, I've run this, and this is what works based on what I've
show
done.
like actual examples of things that are working, and in different markets. Because like that's the big one too, is like different markets react so differently. Like we had a client, I know you don't know the GTA suburbs that well, but there's like one town called Burlington. Okay. Like we were there at one point, we got after with like, because you're after like 50
I actually know Burlington because I have a client in Burlington.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So you have to like 50 leads, Facebook learns what a lead is for you. Once they hit that, we got down to like $3.93 seller leads. Okay. And so we're like, this is killing it. Let's go next door to Oakville. Yeah. Because the prices in Oakville are double. It's like, it's the luxury place. Yeah. So we're like, let's take the exact same campaigns, getting $3.93 seller leads, go to Oakville and run the same campaign. Yeah. Nothing changed except where we ran it to. We got up to $40 a lead. Like it's, every town is so different.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Like, especially with things like home eval campaigns. Like, I normally don't like running them that much, but some areas they kill it. Yeah. And then others complete dead. So like, we want to be able to show like, you know, here's different areas and like our process even for figuring out in a new area what works. Because like, I think that's the other thing is people like will hear someone say, you have to do it this way. Yeah. So they've only tested in their market. Yeah. Because like, you know, if you work cottage country, the strategies you're going to use are way different than if you sell condos in the city. Yeah. And I find that a lot of people like, they'll just look at one person being successful in one type of market, try to emulate it, and that's it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, to be fair, I mean, I think with with online leads, yeah, the Facebook stuff is different, but there are certain things that are the same in any market.
Yeah.
Like, I always find that interesting when I go to like a real estate conference in Florida or something like that, and you talk to people, and the problems that they have are the same problems that you have in Vancouver, the same problems that they have in Kelowna. Like, you know, sales is sales. Oh, the market is doing this. Oh, my brokerage is taking 2 I have a split, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Like, everybody has the same problems.
Yeah, all that side of it, 100%. Like, agents are kind of all saying the same thing.
Yeah.
It's more just like which specific strategy works in each area from like a marketing standpoint.
Yeah.
Because like even little things like, is it a buyer market versus a seller market? You got to run different campaigns for which one it is. And I think that's where a lot of people end up mistake. Because like so many people, especially because Toronto, so many agents got pretty big because market's been hot for so long.
Yeah.
The people outside of Toronto are trying to follow what they're doing. I'm like, but it's different and what's going to work there versus you're in the middle of nowhere. There's like 200 agents total.
Do you get a lot of angry comments on your listing ads specifically?
I wouldn't. Sometimes it's hard to tell, like basically it's text, how angry they are.
Yeah.
We get a lot of like, where's the price?
Okay.
Things like that.
But not like 800 grand for this piece of junk.
Sometimes, depending on the client. So like one of the things because we have so many pages on our business manager, we can't monitor the comments.
Yeah. You just leave that up to the client.
Yeah. So I guess we explain like.
Yeah.
Yeah, like we'll try and like every now and then, but like, literally like if we did that, it'd be a full-time staff person's job just to go through all the comments. But you get some of that. And you get like the odd like realtors are ruining the city of Toronto, yada yada, all that crap.
Yeah.
But like some of them just respond to them. And those like I've seen one who responded to one and ended up getting a listing, not from the guy there, but someone who read it and was like, I love that you kind of engaged and explained it.
Cool.
So like as long as they're not being like telling you where to go, then I'm just like, just respond to them and they just and if they keep following up, just be like, here's my phone number, give me a call and we'll chat about it.
Yeah.
And that normally kind of disarms people.
Yeah.
But for the most part, we just leave them. Like either we hide them or you just hide or respond.
Yeah.
But
I relentlessly ban people from pages.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I want to spend money advertising to you, you're a dick.
Most of the time that I ban people is because what we found there's a big trend, especially in Toronto, more in Toronto we've seen in any other market, is other agents commenting on the ads to advertise themselves.
Really?
Yeah. So
I've never seen that before.
It's mostly our GTA clients.
Crazy.
But it's like...
You guys have a lot of realtors there.
Yeah, I know we're over 50,000 registered
it's
in Toronto
insane.
now. Yeah, it's like one agent for every like 197 people.
Yeah.
Like it's ridiculous.
Yeah. I think it's even a crazier ratio than that. Like it's like...
Yeah, I can't remember exactly.
It was like one in less than 100 people.
It might be now because the numbers keep going up how many there are. And
I mean, I know so many realtors.
They're everywhere. Yeah. Whereas like we have clients in other markets where there's like 200 agents total.
Yeah.
And we're like, and they're like those markets we're getting like $4.
I know a realtor in Lethbridge, Alberta, and she's like, yeah, we've got like 300 people on our board.
Yeah, it's easy.
She's like, because the market is shit there, and so you gotta be tough to get into real estate because it's not like houses sell themselves. Like it's a hard job.
You actually have to work.
Yeah.
Well, that's like in I'm sure Vancouver is similar. Like the actual easiest part of the job is selling the house. Like once you get the house, you're just
the whole hard part of it is selling yourself.
Yeah, and that's where like the kind of country agents, it's the opposite.
Although there's a lot more challenge in markets like Vancouver and Toronto now because of all of the new regulations that are coming, and there's a lot more liability.
Yeah.
I think people are a lot more hesitant of realtors now than they used to be.
It's just a completely different challenges that someone outside of those markets would have, but though there's still. Plus the amount of agents there are that you're competing with.
It's interesting, we talk about how everything is the same, but I do kind of feel like Vancouver and Toronto are sort of unique. I know. Because of the regulations. Because there's so many government regulations and yet the markets still keep increasing.
Well, you guys have more here too right now. Like now, because they're undergoing in Ontario the review of the real estate.
We need more drinks.
That's true. What's your marketing plan for the course?
My blinders are on to create it, but I mean I have an email list of people, and I have people that I work with that are excited about it and are planning to take the course. But so right now a lot of it has just been like kind of word of mouth. I mean, I do Facebook marketing, so I'm gonna run Facebook ads. Like I have a couple different things that I could use as a lead magnet, but I haven't quite figured out what that's gonna be yet.
That took me a while to come up with mine.
My problem, I've got a few ideas, but I'm like, I want to come up with the one that I really like. It might end up being a couple webinars or something, because I like that.
See, I'm trying to go the other way of no webinar sales.
You don't like webinar sales?
Well, I keep thinking, like, I sign up for webinars all the time, I just never go to them.
Yeah.
I might catch part of the replay, but normally just sits as an open tab on my browser for
So for me, I
month.
just feel like they work for me. Maybe that's just the difference. Like I'll be excited about it, and I'm like, oh, Amy Porterfield's doing a webinar, I'll totally go to that. And I'm like, I'm not going to sign up for your $1,000 course, but.
So right there, you said it. Like, I'll go to your webinar, I'm not going to sign up for your course.
I have taken in everything she said, and I've never hit her anything.
You've literally just talked yourself out of doing webinar
Right.
Yeah, I gotta try, like, I don't know how well it'll go, but I gotta try, like, do you know who Nicholas Kuzmich is?
No.
He's a big Facebook marketer out of Toronto. He's not real estate.
Okay.
And he, like, some of his clients, he's spending like $100,000 a day. And his entire idea is you do a lead magnet with a Godfather offer on the thank you page, and then a 72-hour retargeting.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm gonna test early on. But basically, it's like lead magnet, and then you go to the thank you page, you'll say it's selling a course.
Yeah.
So like, say it was yours, you'd be like, you'll get the course, you'll get this, and this.
Yeah.
And this offer is only available for 72 hours.
Yeah.
And then you just shut it after 72 hours.
So I'm reading, I can't remember the guy's name. The book is upstairs. I could run and get the book, but it's about launching, how to launch the launch, what the fuck is it called? The launch something system.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's PLF, the perfect pre-launch formula, perfect launch formula.
I don't know that one.
The perfect
I know the
launch
perfect webinar by Brunson, but, which I don't like.
I'm not his biggest fan.
No, it's not my style at all.
No.
Like it's too hard, pushy kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Yeah, which is why I like Kuzmich, because his is more in my style. So that is the same with my perfect launch formula. I can't remember the guy's name, but he's great. And I came across him on a podcast or something before. And then he basically has the ClickFunnels funnel, the free book one. Yeah. And so I got his free book, paid shipping for it, to try to sell his launch formula course, which again I didn't buy, but I do have his free book. So interesting. But I do like his formula, and he's used it for a long time. It's basically that, like it's doing the pre-launch and giving away something on a limited time period. I've got like a good test audience of people, and I want to be able to offer this to all the RI members. However they are involved, I'm not exactly sure yet. We're still kind of negotiating that, but I will offer like a significant discount to the course at the beginning if people sign up for Well, that's what like I'm going to do with like my Facebook group. It'll be like, if you're in my Facebook group, you'll get a discount.
Yeah.
So like right now what I'm tentatively thinking is $697 for or like members in my group, or $1,000 for anyone else.
Yeah.
What I don't know how I'll do it is if someone buys it at $1,000 and then 2 days later joins my Facebook group.
Yeah.
Do you do something there?
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah.
Can you? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know like, how I'm going to handle that.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's what I'm trying to think of how we'll do that one. But I think...
Can you just offer it in as the Facebook group? Can that not just be a limited thing?
That's probably the route I've been thinking of. Like, so like I'm launching May 15th.
Yeah.
Is the date. Like I just have to force myself to do it. What I'll probably do like May 1st is be like, you can buy it until May 15th for this price.
Yeah.
And then once that's done,
I think you have to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because you don't want to piss people off when they come into the group and they're like,
nothing would be more annoying than you buy it, then 2 minutes later you're like, oh, I could have had it for less.
Yeah.
Like
you don't want them to start off being pissed off.
Yeah. The only one that I have that for, which actually has worked well, is so like if you join my newsletter.
Yeah.
There's before like the regular newsletters go, so like there's a 5-day welcome sequence.
Yeah.
And on the 5th day, there's a discount code for one specific thing we offer.
Yeah.
It's a reward for if someone actually reads the 5th email. So you can kind of see how many people get that far and actually read it. Because like a lot of people because I find open receipts are also not always accurate. Because some people just open it 0, so they don't read. They just open and shut.
Sure.
So I'm like, but now you can see response rate. Because if you're all of a sudden 50% off, and most people want that service anyways, so it's a good way to see how many people actually read. But yeah, it's kind of that one. We've never really had an issue. People are like, oh, I just paid for the full thing and I saw this email. Yeah, that's never happened. So it's perfect. But I think if I did it in the group, it'd be a lot different.
Yeah, I think that'll be important to do. I haven't figured out what I'm going to price my course at yet. I'm still trying to figuring. Yeah, it's
well,
tough.
How many like hours of content do you think it'll be?
3.5. 3 to 3.5 hours.
Yeah, that's a. Yeah, I'm trying to. Because like mine will be 12 to 18. Yeah. I think.
Yeah.
But then there'll also be like PDFs and like.
Yeah, I've got like templates and stuff that comes along with it.
Yeah.
I think part of a lot of it'll depend on how negotiations with different partners work out, and if other companies are licensing the course.
And are you doing anything like that comes with the course too, like groups and Q&A
I've got a Facebook
stuff?
group, and I'll do a regular Q&A with the group. Yeah, that seems like kind of the norm, and it seems, and it's an easy way to. I love Facebook groups too. Yeah. We know each other from a Facebook group.
That's true. We would never have met otherwise. Well,
I think we probably would have met.
At some point, we definitely
Two real estate marketers in Canada. I think it would have come.
True. There's only like 8 of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that we all know each other too. It's kind of random because we're all like each other's competition in a way, but we all like hang out. But do you feel like everybody kind of has their own like niche within the community, or are there like? Because personally, I mean, I try to like to work with people, right? Like. I'm at a point where I don't want to run people's ads. That's just not, and people come to me and they want that, I will give them to you. I don't want that. I want people who will hire me on for 3 months, who want a marketing strategy, who want one-on-one trading. That's what I want to do. Like, that's just not what I love to do. I mean, if you're great at it, I'll give it to you. I like working for RI too. They're a specifically Canadian company. They're like the biggest real estate coaching and training company in Canada. And they dip into the US a little bit, but I like that they've always kind of focused on the Canadian market. Because it is different. The way we talk about things is different. Yeah,
it's like funny, I don't know if you've noticed as well, especially when I worked for Remax and we bring a lot of American speakers up, is we had to specifically tell them every time, and literally like every speaker it became a thing we had to talk about, is not to bring up gun references. All the time. Like it was so consistent, it got ridiculous. Like we had one guy on stage who talked about the CHL for like 10 minutes and just kept mentioning the CHL. We're like, why is this Texan talking about Canadian Hockey League? And eventually we found it was actually concealed handgun license.
Oh my God.
Like, because he's like, I've never do it. Like, and what we figured out is eventually he's like, I would never do a showing if we didn't have the CHL. And I was like, how does that relate? And then we figured out he said he's never done a showing without a gun on him.
Wow.
And I'm like, that's a much different.
I used to take pepper spray with me to do showings.
Then the other interesting was, he was just like, simple thing, like he's talking about targeting on Facebook, and he refers to it as the shotgun approach or the sniper approach. And as soon as that happens, you just look in the audience and everyone's like, oh, typical American. So like we just start being like, oh, you're coming from the States? Don't talk about guns. Even if it's just like a simple like sniper reference, just switch it. Just do targeted approach.
They are really tied into their guns down there.
Yeah, and it's weird. They don't realize, I guess, how much it seeps into their content.
Yeah.
And then they come up here and it's like immediately the eyes roll.
Yeah.
So, but if a Canadian said it, they probably would ignore it altogether.
Oh, yeah.
Which is part of the funny side of it too.
I really think that it's important to do that research before you go and speak somewhere, especially if you're not familiar with the market. Like and it's surprising how few people will do it. To go and do like some quick research on what challenges that market has. Like I got a new client in Orlando. Like the first thing I did was look at what Orlando real estate's like, because I had no idea. So I'm gonna do that research to figure it out, so then I don't sound like a friggin' idiot.
Yeah. The other good one to do, so like I'm in a group that, and I got brought in as like a guest speaker for this group, and then I'm still in it, so I get tagged from time to time, but it's someone teaching people how to do Facebook ads for real estate agents.
Okay.
The best piece of advice that they always are like, that's genius. To me, it's like the simplest thing. Like, when you get a new client in an area, go street view what homes look like in that area. Yeah. Because they're running ads like of a house that would never be there.
Yeah.
Like, anyone would know that house is not there if you did it 5 minutes on Google.
Yeah.
Like, street view should be your best friend for a new client. Just look. Or ask them to send you pictures of the homes.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy how much people just don't do those things.
Yeah.
And that gives all Facebook marketers a bad name.
Yeah. Oh, well, then there's more business for the good ones.
Yeah, well, it's funny too, is like, then they'll get those results like, oh, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
And then you just have to screenshot results and send it to them. But,
yeah, it does.
Yeah. It's my favorite move.
It is weird. Like, did you ever think that all of a sudden Facebook would be the thing that old people use?
It's true, that is the old guy.
It's so weird.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it's because all like the parents and grandparents got on it.
Yeah.
Once that happened, they had to go somewhere else. Now they're on Instagram, but now
Yeah.
they're joining Instagram.
Yeah.
It
was Snapchat. People are still on Snapchat.
Snapchat's kind of going away now.
Yeah, because Instagram.
Facebook's killed it. Yeah.
Yeah. There's Instagram stories, and people do that instead of Snapchat.
Yeah, and but interesting. I was reading one. Twitter's making a comeback with young people.
Twitter?
Yeah, I love Twitter.
Do you?
Yeah, I use it all the time. Not for real estate, really for work. It's more like politics, sports.
I go through phases with Twitter. Like, something draws me to it, and then I'm like, oh yeah, Twitter exists. And then I spend a couple weeks on it, and I'll get into like back and forth. I think the Twitter is cool in that you can connect to people you would never connect with. Like, I've connected to authors and stuff that I've messaged.
That's where it's really effective.
Pretty neat, yeah.
Like Scott Stratton, like you can get him. Like Gary Vee, you can still get on Twitter, and he's impossible to get anywhere else now. But yeah, like most speakers too will be on Twitter.
Yeah.
It just works.
Yeah. By the way, I think last time we talked, I told you I hated Gary Vee. I don't hate him. I don't hate him anymore.
Oh, what changed?
I don't know. I saw him at R4.
Oh.
He talked at R4, and I never seen him live.
Yeah.
And I was in Vegas. I was very hungover too. So Gary Vaynerchuk yelling at me when I was hungover, I was like, I gotta listen to things this guy's saying.
Do you know what I loved about him speaking at R4?
What?
Was when he says, if you're not doing Facebook ads, you're an idiot. I just want to take that clip and put it in my advertising. I actually probably from that time, I wasn't even at R4.
Yeah. But you saw it. You saw it online?
I just saw that one, like,
one
part of, like, because, like, I saw him speak the day before in Toronto.
Yeah.
But I probably had 10 different people in the next, like, week or two. They're like, I heard Gary Vee say, if you're not doing Facebook ads, you're an idiot. So I wanted to reach out. Because, like, people have been aware of me, but they're just like, I don't need Facebook ads. And then he says, if you're not doing it, you're an idiot. Yeah. Then I got a ton of people.
So the Facebook thing I was telling you about at R4 was the day after that. And that was probably why it was so busy too, because he like yelled at everybody for not using Facebook.
So now we're to the Facebook side.
Yeah, but he was great. You know what? I think I misjudged him because when I first heard him, I was like, this guy is obnoxious, and he's just interrupting the host of his podcast or whatever I was listening to.
Like 3 years ago, I was way more into Gary Vee.
Yeah.
But he doesn't really have
He doesn't have anything new to say, right?
So what I do is like every few months, I check in how he's like promoting his content.
Sure.
Because he's got because he tests so much, he has the best practices.
You want to see what platform he's on and how he's doing
and how he's executing on that platform. So like how he's structuring his videos. So, like I just check in every now and then to see that.
Yeah.
There's actual content I rarely actually like dive deep into anymore.
Yeah. So I'm listening to Crushing It right now, the audio book version, and it's good. He even says in there, he's like, 3 out of the 5 people who hear me will hate me at first, and then I usually win back 2 of them.
Yeah.
I'm like, I am one of those too.
He knows.
Yeah, it's like, you know me.
I've actually heard that a lot recently of people who are like, oh, I just can't stand him, and I'm like, I've kind of changed my mind.
Yeah. He had a good message. Like, I just like that he was telling people that they were being so stupid about social media and not creating content, and also being lazy about it. Like, I'm gonna hire my niece because she gets it, that kind of thing. Like, so many people who do that. Your content is shitty and you suck. Like, stop sucking
just
so much.
Just because someone's young and on Facebook.
They don't understand Facebook for business, and they don't know the ads, and they don't. Yeah, it's totally different. So I just like the message she's been preaching. Work hard and get her done.
Don't suck.
So I don't hate him anymore.
And if you don't do Facebook ads, you're an idiot.
You're an idiot.
Yeah, I just need to cut that clip and just put it in all my marketing. Yeah. Just get his permission to can I put this in my ad? Just that's it. Just one little quick clip from you.
Yeah.
You're ready to go.
You gotta find a way where he cut his voice and he's saying like to hire you somehow, like cut it all together. Just sell homes.
This is what I'll use Twitter for. That's true. I should pay someone because I'm sure he uses each of those words fairly regularly.
Exactly. Just put them into
It's like when they do like Obama rapping, but it's all like one word at a time. Yeah. Cutting back and forth.
Yeah. All those people who have way too much free time.
Oh yeah.
That must take a crap ton of time.
But then you get 5 million views and all of a sudden you're making money. So
yeah. We didn't talk. We gotta go, so we gotta go for dinner. But we didn't talk about taxidermy, and we didn't talk about comedy. These are things that people usually ask me about in interviews.
So we're going different than the norm. But it's true, I did see you have like you're learning taxidermy, which is a random interest.
Mm-hmm. So I have a stuffed rat upstairs.
I've seen
you didn't see him on the tour. You
can just see the eyes of like, what is she doing? You're a completely different person. Not what I expected.
So, but I stuffed him and I turned him into a little hula dancer. He's got a little skirt on. And
does he like have different outfits?
No, he just wears that outfit.
Just
I might make more.
You named him?
I named him what the Hawaiian word for rodent was, but then I forgot what it is, so I don't know.
So it wasn't that memorable.
Yeah. The next one I want to do, I'm gonna have to kill 2, and I'm gonna skin one and make the other one wear it. So he's one rat is wearing like a rat little
coat.
cape. He might have like a monocle or something too.
Maybe a little Pickle Rick reference in there.
Oh god, yeah. I'm gonna make Pickle Rick out of
the other
rat.
one. Because you skin one, you just use the other pieces for Pickle Rick.
Yeah.
You're good to go.
So that episode would have been great if it wasn't for like all the kids that have been ruining Rick and Morty now.
Probably, yeah. I stay out of all like the message boards and all that.
Good call.
Yeah.
Because the first season of Rick and Morty, I'm like, this is so weird and something that most people don't know about.
So I didn't hear of it until midway through season 3.
Okay.
And so then I binged it all and caught up.
So good.
And so like only like 2 episodes have I ever actually like watched when they were supposed to air.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was pretty late to the Rick and Morty bandwagon.
That's cool.
Yeah. But then like I started like reading about like the comment boards where people are like, you have to be smart to get it. I'm like, you really don't. Like, it's pretty basic. Like, I don't get that argument of you have to be smart to understand the show.
But it's so deep. There's so many levels to it.
It's dark.
It is really
and
dark.
I love that.
Yeah.
But I don't understand that, like, you have to be smart to get it.
It's just people who want to be smart telling other people you have to be smart to get it.
That's why you don't like it.
It's basically just Inception.
Yeah.
It's like every episode is
on that.
Yeah, it's Inception.
Yeah, it's a great show.
Because Dan Harmon hates Inception.
You can tell that from his Inception episode.
Yeah. Do you ever listen to Harmontown?
No.
Have you ever seen? There's a Netflix movie, Harmontown, too. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Besides having heard of it, I know nothing about it.
So Dan Harmon created Community, and then he was fired from Community. Yeah. And when he was fired from Community, he started this show, Harmontown, and it was in the back of a comic book store, and it would just be like him doing improv, but it was like just rants basically, and then it turned into a podcast, and then they did a film on his like Harmontown thing. It's like a really weird show, and it, up until recently it was still in the back of a comic book shop, and it was $10, and it ran every Sunday, and he would have on different celebrity guests, and they started playing Dungeons and Dragons. So half of the show was like weird improv and rants, and the other half was Dungeons and Dragons, and you just watch it. I went down, I had a layover once in LA a couple years ago, and I like purposely made my layover run longer so I could go and see it.
Yeah, how was that?
It was awesome. It was so good. And it was $10 in the back of a comic book store, and you can see Dan Harmon and whatever celebrity guest he had.
I would definitely pay just to be in the room for when they're writing Rick and Morty.
Yeah.
Because like the way they go with that show, you're like, how would anyone figure or think of that?
So fucked up.
Yeah, like there's no like, this seems like a logical sequence of events.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah.
Like it's weird.
It's like my dreams. Like, it seems like a weird.
Except I don't know I've ever had a dream that weird as some of those episodes.
Yeah.
Like who thought of Pickle Rick?
Yeah.
And then where that episode, like even if you told me the concept of the show, that episode, I could never, maybe if I had a lot of drugs. That's the only way I could reasonably explain.
That could be how they come up with their show.
Probably. It's the only thing that really makes sense for a lot of them.
So, but I do improv, and we come up with some really weird shit in improv.
Yeah. Like I said, you're doing it all the time.
Yeah. Sometimes I feel like my brain just works in a messed up way, because those are the kind of things that I think routinely. And like, what if I turned into a pickle? You say that it's weird, and I'm like, no,
but then
it's
did
just,
you turn into a pickle with rat features that you controlled,
and
then going after in like a random Spanish embassy?
Sure, but then what else? You think like if this, then that. So if you're a pickle, what next?
And I would never go to firefight with essentially, the bad guy from every Mexican.
But not right away. Okay, but once you roll off the table, once you get in the sewer, well, if you get in the sewer, maybe there's a rat, and then eventually you're fighting things. There's an airplane. Now you're at a psychologist's office.
It's so weird.
You have to have really seen this episode.
It makes sense in context.
Yeah.
Great time. But we do actually have to go because we have a reservation we will be late for anyways, but that's okay.
Yeah.
So thanks for joining this episode of the show. Where can people find you if they want to get hold of you?
You can go to stepharnold.com or find me on Facebook or Instagram. Or I'm not hard to find. I'm an internet. I do work on the internet.
She's not doing her job right if you have to find her and spend time.
There's some Stephanie Arnold that wrote a book recently, and that bitch took away a lot of my Google cred. But I'm sure she's a lovely person.
But I hate her.
But I'm sure you can find me if you look me up.
Sounds good. Plus, we'll be tagging her in the video, so depending on which platform, it'll either be up there or down there. Okay. It'll be easy. Thanks for being on the show.
Thank you.
And stay tuned for next week when we interview someone else. I don't know who it'll be yet.